Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2. Let me introduce to you a Terran who laughs at the term Defender's Advantage, the proud owner of a barracks most of the way across the map. It's Team Liquid's Clem. And on the other side, not too far away, the Italian Stallion, Team Basilisk's Reynor. Yes, the two facing off again, the fastest players in the game, off to the quickest possible start, as Clem has half a proxy Rex. Reynor going for something a little more standard. But if you like something a little aggressive or standard, well, hopefully you'll find it here. If you like and subscribe. Jimmy, what are we at? Quickly! What? 1,121 likes. If we get that many likes on this video, I'll cast another series. And I got so many good games lined up. I'll probably do it anyways. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you've had a good day so far. And hopefully it's about to get a little bit better. At least better than these Zerglings and drones, as a couple Reapers have already made their way into the base. Queen not even out. Evolution Chamber. Just a temporary but important block. Queen, grenades over the top. Evolution Chamber canceled. Queen gonna try to zone. Get off my creep! Sorry. The Reaper is not a deadly choice against the Queens, but as a Frenchman, he certainly knows how to make royalty uncomfortable. As Clem just keeps sharking around with the Reapers, making it very difficult for Reynor to do anything without not Overlord related. Has some Overlords outside his base. Whoop. One Reaper at the back, just trying to bait the Queens into moving a little further forward. Oh my god, the micro is perfect. Going deep, gets the Queen, jumps out, gets away with murder. Again, Clem, perfect. Not near perfect, perfect Reaper micro. It doesn't get better than that. Gets out with all the Reapers and they heal. Gets away with the Queen kill, and now looking for more. Zergling speed is done. The grenades to try to zone his way out of the base, but Reynor's got him cornered. The Zergling's closing in. Queen behind him. Gets 3 out of 4. A good spot of vengeance there for the Italian. And that pretty significantly hamstrings any follow-up attacks, especially involving, it looks like Hellion. No, he decided against it. Actually lifted off the factory, thought about Hellions, and now is just heading towards what looks to be siege tanks, or his second barracks. Though, this could be a very awkward timing. Yeah, you're not going to want to lift that factory at the moment. The Zerg... Yeah, sir. Sir, please. Sir. Yeah. Oh! He got it! He sat back down just in time. Then do a bit of a hot swap there. But there was enough space for the Zerglings to get in. But Clem managed to switch his seat so quickly. The musical chairs mastermind. That the Zerglings, who are clearly waiting for that opportunity. Clem knew it. Reynor knew it. But at the end of the day, Clem was just a little too quick. Slid onto that add-on. And now the Zerglings have to go back home. And now, from these two, I expect constant skirmishes like that. They both are almost overly micro-focused. I say almost because it just seems like they have the extra APM to do those sorts of things, where most players who aren't named Cyril probably struggle. Roach, Warren, Lair on the way. I would say neither player got the better end of that exchange overall. Reynor does have 3 bases up pretty comfortably. But Clem has the 3rd command center finished. He's got 1-1 started significantly earlier. He's got Stim on the way. He's got most of his infrastructure online. 2 racks done. 3rd rack's about completed. Factory starport. So, with all that, even though he doesn't quite have the map control that Reynor does at the moment, that's going to change as these Marines get Stim and some medevacs to back them up. Always important to have someone to enable your drug addiction. Alright, Clem, gotta try to drive back the edges of the creep. All we can really do for now. There should be enough units, especially until, well, Stim is now done. The Roaches cannot fly, much to their dismay. Queens as well, much to greater dismay. Double drop headed towards the main, but the Zerglings that survived the initial engagements there to at least discourage this. But Clem drops on the low ground to cover for the high. Queen's not sure what they want. But right now, that indecision is going to cost him a lot of the Zerglings and make it that much harder to zone the drops. Ow, Clem working on this angle, threatening both the fourth and the main, knowing that the medevacs have so much utility in that. Guns down 1, 2 queens. 3 in total so far, not gonna get the hatchery itself, instead maintains the marine count. Dropping out, he's just gonna fight these roaches, microing back some of the marines with the medevacs. He has to transfuse from the low ground, but it's not enough. Clem making so much use of these medevacs here. Reynor thought, on paper he has the unit count, but papers don't fly, medevacs do. And right now, Reynor continually chasing. Now, he is taking superficial damage. He's losing... Now it's painful, but he's losing queens, he's losing roaches, he's losing lings, but he's still got 74 drones. He's got an infestation pit on the way. He's still got plenty of creep spread across the map. Clem has been focused heavily on just these 2 medevacs. Building up at home, of course, but has only now found the space to send out another wave. And that means Reynor has been consolidating his position. He has all the drones he needs now, but he's going to throw a few more on just for good measure. He's got infestors on the way, leaning towards this roach infestor composition. Dark had the right of it. He is the player who most commonly used this even months ago, but Cyril and Reynor have embraced it as well as something a little more stable than lings and banelings in the early game, though I would be surprised to see him later on. +1/+1 about to complete for Reynor. Still not quite there yet. 2-2 already well on the way for Clem. Understanding that upgrade advantage allows him the ability to fight the roaches, but maybe overestimating that ability just a bit. Shaping up to be a dramatic game thus far. Already has been, will continue to be. Clem has managed to go with only losing 16 Marines and Threepers against 10 roaches, 36 lings, 3 queens. Ooh. Medevac taken out. Believe so. No, that was a Hellbat. Wait, what? Anyways, Clem setting up for a tank push, but the infestors are spotted by the scan. The roaches. Ooh, that he needs a fungal. And he needed it yesterday, but today will have to suffice. The tanks are moving up. It's just Marines here. No Marauders, so very vulnerable to fungal, but a huge amount of DPS. One infestor taken out. Corrosive Biles, though. Oh, and catches one set with a fungal. Siege tanks looking for more. Another wave of corrosive bile. Got a gun down a tank. Sliding over to the north side. Marine line still holding strong. Siege tank at the very back helping out a lot. It looks like this trade may end up almost even here, as Clem loses all his tanks, a lot of his Marines, but guns down most of the Zerg in the process. He's got more to follow it up. Jumps into the main. Looking to gun down the Queen, taking any drones he gets in the process. 6, 7, and the Roach Ravager is on its way back. Another set of Terran units in the center of the map. Even Clem not keeping track of them. On top of the creep, throws out a scan and looks for another angle of attack. 4 medevacs with less than 1 medevac of units left over. Clem picks up into another double drop. Probably going to be sending some of this home. Ooh, a bit of a mistake there. Loses a few of the Marines, and that will be pressure relief from that side. But Reynor, unable to really transition into any sort of attack here. Clem has kept him so busy, and he now has a 4. Reynor doesn't have any of the hive tech online. He's just now building Vipers. He has no adrenal glands. He has no lurkers. Certainly, in fact, double lurker den. Wow, huge play from Reynor. I didn't even realize he got a Hydralisk den. He has no Hydras on the field, but double lurker den. All right. Here we go. Are they in the same spot? Close enough. He certainly wants lurkers here. I think realizing that at this stage of the game, Clem's only going to get more and more efficient. That mid-game Zerg army starts crumbling when faced with 200 supply of Terran, let alone +3, let alone ghosts. And ghosts already being added in. Fungal looking good. Corrosive Bow, spray and pray, not finding it on the medevacs. Another drop. Reynor really starting to push Clem back across the board here. And now he's got 85 drones. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I count them out. That's 6, 7 bases. We got the double lurker upgrades. Adrenal glands +3. So Reynor not too far behind on the tier 3 tech. Some infestors here. Not enough energy for fungal quite yet. Needs 3 bars on those infestors. +1 melee, and now we see the late game option, the Ling Bane. Now Reynor has the larva. Now he has the ability to trade in such great numbers. Before, honestly, Ling Bane is so larva intensive, it sometimes makes it hard to keep your drone count up. And that's why the Roach Infester is not unlikely to be the choice. But as we get to this stage of the game, the Roaches drop off and the Lings and Banes have to run through the gap. Clem is taking a strong position on the high ground, though. Dragon Scale's not a particularly open map. It is quite cramped when we get to this stage. The siege tanks, the sensor towers. Clem has perfect coverage with the sensor towers now. He can actually see anything coming within even a screen or so of his base. So that means that Reynor is going to have to rely on brute force. There's not so much room for subtlety anymore. The double lurker is completed. Both sets of upgrades here. Infantry armor, level 3. We got +3 carapace as well. Infantry armor level 3 for Zerg. The Marauders, not good enough to fight the Roaches, neither side. Thinking, these are, right now Reynor's throwing away these Roaches. He's trying to get rid of them, but then his instincts are fighting against it, like, but I don't want to just lose them for free. But he actually does want to switch into lurkers, so he's trying to, well, Clem's gonna help him out. Frees up some supply over to the right flank. Sniped, looking good. Slicing through the lurker. The lurker's not able to slice quickly enough in turn. But the medevacs. The medevacs save the ghosts, but the Vipers at full energy here. Looking for some pulls on the ghost, but very wary of snipes and EMP. One good fungal could lock down these ghosts and potentially overrun this army. Without the ghosts here, and that's a big ask, but without the ghosts here, Reynor can easily run down all the units on the ground. The lurkers keeping the ghosts busy. The tension mounts. Something's gonna happen. Yeah, Reynor's setting up for a near full surround. Here come the Lings and Banes from 2, 3 sides. Blinding Cloud on the back line. Viper came in. EMP negated the second one. Still a full energy Viper. Blinding Cloud on another tank. Forces the ghost back. The Baneling soaking a lot of the damage there. And at the end of the day, Reynor frees up some space at his base, but the ghosts mostly survived. Line up their shots. A single Baneling could interrupt many of them. But Reynor unable to push Clem far enough back. The ghost actually just standing their ground. He's target firing the Banelings like that arcade game. Building armor on the way. High-sec auto-tracking. Double building upgrades here as Clem locks things down. He's now got 5 orbitals, and I assume that won't be the end of it. More command centers finishing. Another wave of Ling Bane. Reynor has pretty much all the bases on his side of the... Yeah, he does have all the bases on his side of the map. Oh my. Doesn't actually really get any ghosts there. Yeah, in that fight, he managed to save all of them. The fungal ran out a split second before the Zerglings were able to shred him. And now, here comes another wave of Ling Bane. That one Viper on the back line. Gonna be looking for EMPs. Doesn't quite find it. Blinding Cloud. Doesn't get far enough, though. Snipes go right through it. And chasing down the Hydraless off a creep. Oh my god, he doesn't have Hydra speed. What an oversight here. Reynor Not fast enough. Sniping drones. A firing squad guns him down. And Clem has taken a strong position. He carves out the 3 o'clock base and now is looking up to the high ground. Reynor not able to stop Clem from retaking this position. He didn't have enough lurkers to capitalize on the situation. And now +3 Hell Chads on the way. Infernal Prey Igniter, aka Blue Flame, as well as +3 mech weapons combined to make the most efficient Hellbats possible. Now the Hydra upgrade's just now being filled in. A key but dramatic oversight. There is that one Cyril Fester waiting, watching, lurking. Nope, that's a different unit. Scans across the board. Multiple scans. He scouted for outside his left side base, and of course he scouted for the rest of the army, but he didn't see the burrowed Fester. That is essentially Reynor's last hope here, as Clem clearly has the momentum. He now has the bank. He has the most efficient composition in the game. Ghost Liberator. But that one Fester, he lands the fungal, the EMP's late, and the Banelings rip through. Is it enough? He cloaks. There's no detection. That doesn't mean the Banelings won't do the damage. Oh, the Banelings still finding some of the targets here, but not able to kill enough of the ghosts. The cloak, in turn. While Clem didn't have detection for the infester, Reynor didn't have detection for the ghosts. And there's a lot more ghosts than infestors. Clem does have to go back for a while. 10 more lurkers on the way. Advanced ballistics in the production tab for those ranged liberators. Gonna make it that much harder. One more wave of lurkers. One more infester underneath. A limited time only here, as the turret is about to complete. I'm sure Reynor sees it. Another burrowed Fester. The turret in the center. That's still a lot of lurkers here. Reynor is maxed. A wave of snipes manages to dodge most of the lurker spines here, but caught between a rock and a hard place otherwise. Trying to split. He lands some. He has enough, but he got a good fungal in the center. God, the reaction time of the EMP is amazing, but it's still too late to save some of the ghosts. Here comes Reynor. Looking for more. Blinding Cloud on the ghost. Pushes them forward, but they're able to hold the line, and Reynor unable to break it. More lurkers moving up. Another Blinding Cloud, but it's really the Liberators at this point that he needs to break. He doesn't have the anti-air. The snipe's finding more of the lurkers. And yanking in the ghosts. A lot of energy to secure a single ghost kill. Advanced ballistics is now done. The Zerglings on top of the tanks will rip them apart. The ghost count is still looking quite dramatic. Oh, that last infester. It's wandering almost into the scan range. Does he realize there's an EMP at the front? He spotted a burrow fester. Another one. Gets a fungal. 3 or 4 ghosts in the mix. Rips through more. Pulls back, though. Oh, and he's got the +3 Hellbats on top of everything. Roasting the front line. Sniping the back. And dealing with the Hydras in the center. Clem with the full package there. And 20 minutes in. And so many... 34,000 minerals to 18k lost. An incredibly efficient and effective game out of Clem. Really using the map and locking it down near perfectly. It doesn't get too much better. The Queens were the first casualties, but they weren't the last. Wow, Clem on point. Not a single Widow Mine. His signature unit in the past. Understanding that on a map that has such intimacy. That siege tanks and liberators can really lock down such a high percentage of it. And Reynor just... It's not that Reynor played poorly, I think, at all. It's just Clem. No weakness. Even when it looked like Clem didn't quite win a fight, he didn't leave Reynor with enough No, not a single counterattack. The entire game. Not a single opportunity to really turn things around. Reynor never got... I don't know if he killed... I didn't look. I don't know if he even killed an SC. I assume he killed an SCV. Maybe 2. At some point. But certainly not 10. Unless I missed an entire counterattack. But just a forward, inexorable push there from Clem. And Reynor gonna have to put something else together. Babylon has a lot more space to work with, a lot more opportunity to circumvent the main army and potentially attack at least one side of the map. So, if Reynor's gonna strike back, it's not a bad map to do it. No Reaper build this time around. No 2 racks, 3 racks. I mean, he's got a Reaper, but this is a scouting Reaper, not a Reaper build. Distinct difference. Scouts sees the hatchery first, knows the timings, of course. And the Reaper heading across. Gonna just poke and prod. Still annoying. Doubtful it will kill a queen, though. Reaper. Taste of its own grenade. No one makes me bleed my own blood. The Zerglings. Oh, gets a drone! Never a fun time as a Zerg player. And gonna go for the queen. Just pushes her off the creep a little further to delay a creep tumor. But no, don't do it. Come on. This is just... Oh my. It's just gratuitous. Clem looked like he might come back in and try to get the 2. We now have Starport on the way. Gonna be reactored Hellions. A more stereotypical Terran opener. The 1-1-1. Barracks, Factory, Starport. Yep, that's a 3rd. Reaper confirms it. Had to test it. Make sure it wasn't a hallucination. Indeed, it's a 3rd base. Looking for that creep tumor. Wow, oh my god, that was at the very pixel-perfect edge of the radius. Bounced the queen out of the way. Gets the creep tumor. Clem is on point today. Oh my. But is he on point enough to realize that 6 Zerglings have come? As I say it, you can't just let them in. Or can you? He's lost 0 SCVs. Oh my god, this Hellion micro is perfect. Oh my god. He lost nothing. Never. Clem is on point today. All right. Ignore any doubt. Jeez. Call an ambulance. But not for me. Oh my. Just literal pixel perfect again. Not a single SCV lost. Kills every Zergling. Yes, he let Reynor get a scout. Where he's going to see 3 command centers and reactored Hellions. Oh wow. Original today, aren't we? Oh, and with a cloak banshee to follow it up. Ooh, of course. Still keeping control of the creep. And... Oh, grenade? Oh, come on. No. Not like... Oh, come on. Gets a queen. Charbroiled, if you would. Oh, my. He's still got that one bruised Hellion in the back. And you can go repair it. Can't believe he killed a queen, too. Everyone building up. Double Evo, double Engie. Neither is gonna go for the game-ending move here. Is there a lair done? No, not even started. So, 5.5 minutes in, no lair started. The Banshee gonna have free reign of everything outside the Spore Crawlers, including those Zerglings that were trying to take down the rocks. +1 Carapace versus +1 infantry weapons. Round 1 of the upgrades. I expect him to fill in the rest here. Two more barracks on the way. And 3 gas gathers for Reynor, who starts the lair as well. Could it be Mutas? He's going to have a lot of gas as the lair completes. And he's already got his upgrades started. Baneling Nest almost certain at this stage. Stim, 1-1, Armory for Clem. Just the usual macro production tabs here. And what do we got? Double Banshee. Heading in towards the main. Poking and prodding the queens. Oh my god. Susan, please, please move out of the way. Please move. Please stutter step forward. I can't see anything. Did you get your eyes oh my god, Susan! Banshees managed to kill a queen. 5 drones as well. Quite annoying. Reynor plummets to a 14 drone lead. It's gonna be Widow Mines this time around. We do have the lair done now. Ooh, creep tumors. Trying to get rid of the active tumors. Not quite enough. Well, gets him on the way out. Here, Clem reaching for some Minecraft plays this time around. Sensor tower done. Drilling claws rush. More Hydralings and Banes. Well, he's got to finish the Hydra deck, get those upgrades. Not having the Hydra speed was a key problem in the last game. Now Clem feeling quite confident out on the map as he's got 90 to 64 army supply. The Widow Mines are spread throughout. Reynor with a massive counterattack. The Widow Mines are not burrowed yet. And even when they do, they're in friendly fire range. Gonna hit a lot of the Marines themselves. The Banshees are at the back, helping to defend the counter. The armory is already done, which means that the mines will remain cloaked on the ground. The missile platforms. We do have a whole lot of Lings and Hellbats. Another shot. The mine eaten by a queen. The queens themselves holding. The Royal Guard, if you would. At the Marines on the high ground. A concave against the queens. Baneling speed, 10 seconds out. He's desperately trying to hold until it. That Baneling speed's so important. Baneling speed done. Alright, Hydralisks on the way. Lurker down. The Banelings are rolling it, and Clem walking a little too far forward. Reynor melting through, but the Widow Mine drop at the back. He gets 9 of them. But wait, there's more. Retargeting, recalculating. Ends up only killing 1 more, but 10 drone kills, and he has to clean up the mine drops, which is always an arduous process. But the Spore Crawlers are already there for the most part. Another mine drop. Drilling Claws on top of the mineral line. 17, 23, 25 drones throughout these mine drops here. And that brings the economies a little closer to even. Of course, Reynor had a time to rebuild throughout it. But this is a lot of space given back to the French Terran player. Beautifully done. I gotta take this time. I was watching, Clem did one of his very rare streams for the new balance patch stuff. About a week or 2 ago, if you're watching this. And managed to do running commentary in English. Better than I can in English. So, add it to the list alongside Hero Marine and Reynor of players who speak their second language while playing StarCraft way better than me. No, it's a lot of fun to watch, though. Watching Clem say, oh, this looks very bad for me. And then micro a few Marines and Marauders and take out an entire army. It's like, I guess it wasn't so bad for me. Okay, thank you, Clem. We get it. I got it. These nerds, these kids, these Widow Mines dealt with for now. Vehicle plating level 1. 3-3 on the way for both sides. We got adrenal glands, lurker range. I will say the Widow Mines have done terrible, terrible damage, but they don't hold ground like a siege tank does. And that means, yeah, Clem, realizing that, has switched over to the tanks. They might be, in my opinion, one of the most annoying units, if not the most annoying unit in the game. But at the end of the day, once they're dealt with, you've reclaimed that. And a lot of the time during the actual engagement, they can backfire. And that means Clem is going to build 5 command centers and 2 siege tanks at a time. As he switches back into that more stable army composition. Reynor, though, already has this hive tech. I'd say has a little bit more opportunity. A lurker drop on the way. Widow Mines blunting the attack. A defensive planetary. Setting up. Meanwhile, more lurkers from the high ground. Are there any ghosts on the field yet? Yes, just the one. A lurker drop in the main, though. A scan. Trying to deal with it. It looks like he damaged one, but the rest, he's split between 2. It's going to require multiple scans to deal with. And now Clem has his own base to handle while Reynor is still building up back at home. He's still got money in the bank. He's maxed out. There's no upgrades finishing for a few seconds, so might as well go now. Lings and Banes. Beautiful target fire onto the Banelings. Gets a bunch of them with a single tank volley. Banshees are still alive, but a Baneling... Well, this is awkward. Oh my god, the Bane Mine hits him and drops the rocks. What a hit. What a play there. What a dramatic... The burrowed Banes exploding to kill a dozen Marines and drop the rocks, blocking out the rest. A cinematic experience there that I wouldn't want to be on the other end of. Reynor finally strikes back. Everybody take a break. Time out. Reynor, that was so sick. I don't know. But we're back. We don't pause for anyone here, except to like and subscribe. Infantry level 3 across the board, weapons and armor. Meanwhile, Zerglings and Banelings have already achieved it. Clem, though, he still has half a dozen or more command. He has 6 orbitals, 2 planetaries. Building even more. He's got a few vanilla command centers. Trying to make his way through. So far, Reynor has definitely had the initiative for this game. Reynor has definitely been the one dictating the pace of it. Clem no longer able to really get anything out on the map without risking being smashed back at home. But the snipes just lines him up, knocks him down, takes out the queens. But here come the Lings and Banes. Vipers behind, maybe a little late to the party, but the Banelings are covering for everything else behind. Hydras, lurkers dunked down, Banelings onto the ghost, parasitic bomb onto the medevac, chasing down the SCVs, yanking in the tanks, ripping them to shreds. SCVs in the command center, trying to evacuate, as Reynor has run through the field, massacring everything in his path. Reynor decisively taking out this base, forcing everything away, and murdering all the defenders in the process. A handful of ghosts were able to escape. A clutch of Marines, a few SCVs at a command center. But Reynor comes in for another round. Lings, and not really any Banelings, which might be a bit of a mistake. Leaves some Changelings in his wake awkwardly here. And that will buy another second or two. Drives in with a lurker. Says, if I can't fight you with the main army, I'm gonna take this instead. But the snipes will distract it for now. The queens trying to spread the creep a little closer, but more snipes on him will take him out. Reynor scanned out. Venn Dio scan there. Very concerned. Clem retakes this position immediately. Another incredible exchange between these two, but this time it's Reynor in the driver's seat. Another round, here we go again. Queen's leading the charge, Lings and Banes again. The armor not finishing up. Blinding Cloud on the planetary. Tanks overrun. Planetary taken up, but the ghost count remains for now. And with it, Clem still has hope. Where are the medevacs, though? He has 0, which is not a high number. Every medevac somehow taken out. Every air unit, in fact, was wiped off the field. The Hydras and the parasitic bombs throughout this. Looking for a scan. Wow. He tries to walk by the Spore and line up a snipe on the Viper, pinpointing the source of most of his troubles. But there's another command center, drops another set of mules, but Reynor now has maintained a massive, just a few moments with enough mules there for Clem to maintain parity. But here we go again. Round 3, maybe the final one here. As tries to line up some snipes. There's not enough medevacs to even evacuate the ghost. Uses the cloak, but the overseers spot him. He's in full retreat. Clem is routed here, all the way to his defensive planetary. The base is cleared again. A scan on the burrowed banelings. 24 SCVs. Lurkers into the natural. Will dunk their faces down. It looks like, yes, both of them will make it. And Clem is bleeding out. Reynor will take game number 2. Pretty much the same as the about equal there, but in reverse. Reynor evenly matched with Clem, able to take enough of the map, rip apart the attacks, and just never let up. They both have such a similar, just high-powered super macro style when we get to the late game. It seems to depend on who's able to maintain the initiative, which is the most exciting method of StarCraft, I think. And so far, it has made for quite an even series. We go to match point, though. Only one can win. Who's it gonna be? Place your predictions as we go to Game 3. Jimmy? Neo-Humanity somehow slipped through the V. I'm always surprised when we see this map in a best of 3. As it is probably the most controversial. Well, controversial might be a bit of a strong wording, but it is the most unique of the maps in the current pool, I'd say. Though maybe in a way that neither Terran or Zerg really minds. It is a tough map for Protoss on a relatively regular occasion. It is hard to hold on to more than 3 bases. Even 3 bases are sometimes difficult. But there, if you can cut it in half, which, if you remember that Reynor versus Spirit game, that was that 76-minute, I remember, 76-minute experience, where Reynor at 40-something minutes asked Spirit, "What are you doing?" And Spirit replied, "Winning." And then 30 minutes later, he made good on that statement. Spoilers, by the way, but I don't know. As they mined out for... And then the game continued for over 20 minutes. It's going to be a almost generic 3-per build. A different opener for the 3rd time out of 3 games for Clem, though more similar to his Game 1 build, trying to keep control of the situation, which did seem to land him in a much better spot than playing a more defensive. Though, it's not like the Hellions and Banshees did poorly. Not at all. But Reynor was not even really sure where it went wrong for Clem there. But Reynor went Ling Bane as opposed to the Roach Infester. and Clem just didn't quite have the momentum. Like that, you can't really pinpoint a moment that went wrong. There's just a lot of give and take, and eventually Reynor was able to gain the initiative. Also, the Widow Mine's just, while incredibly annoying to deal with, not deadly against lurker builds for the most part. In fact, if you don't have the siege tank count, it becomes very hard to zone them out until you get the Mass Ghost. Yeah, Clem, not just 3, but 5 Reapers. The Penta Reaper build. And with that many, he actually cancels the 3rd hatchery. And he's halfway through his 3rd command center at home. So, wow, okay. So, the addition of those 2 extra Reapers, he loses 1 in the main, but the addition of those 2, this might be why Dark always takes the center base, yeah? One of the reasons. But, hey, I might as well try to get something. Not sure how that would help it against the Reapers, but still. More dramatic gesture. Yeah, canceling the 3rd is quite a setback. It feels like it didn't really cost Clem anything. Reynor was probably banking on just 3 Reapers, which are unlikely to kill any hatcheries before they finish. But the 5 was enough. More lings. Oh, wait. Yeah, he's watching. Out there just far enough that he can retreat in time. Trusting himself to react. Reaper's hanging out in the main. Double Evo for Reynor. Double NG for Clem, almost exactly the same time here. Reynor up to 48 drones and counting. Quite delayed on his 3rd hatch, unfortunately, but he's gonna lean on the Ling Bane yet again. Double. Does he have stim? Of course he has stim. Don't be silly. No he didn't actually queue up combat shield, which is a mistake. That is one of the most forgettable yet important upgrades. Anywhere between the bronze and the literal #1 pro leagues here. Combat shield is the culprit. Now, I'd say it's a single-digit percentage of the time, but he definitely wants to be researching combat shield right now. Yes, killing a queen or 2 is nice, but the longer he goes without it, the harder and harder it is to trade against it. 10 HP is a lot of HP. 45 to 55 on those Marines, making him much more vulnerable. You got to start that Sorry, I was getting a bit angry. Coach slipped through for a moment there. Then I realized we're talking about the top 5 players in the world here. I believe right now Reynor is 3rd or 4th, and Clem is 5th or 6th, something like that. Marginally better than me, arguably, so. Siege tank gonna be jammed into that location. Terrans have gotten so good. As you know, maps are Terran favored. The siege tank couldn't actually get back there without the medevac chauffeuring it behind the mineral line, as the siege tank itself is a bit too thick, I believe is the terminology. Marines trying to poke and prod at the queens. One finishing on both sides, but I'm gonna have a slight advantage. Baneling speed still a while out. He's got some Marines to protect that siege tank as well. Trying to cut off some of the reinforcements. Reynor expanding to the center as well. So leaving himself with options. I think he's trying to buy time till Bane speed here. He's got his whole harem of queens in order to help zone this out. But now, combat shield done. 1-1 done for Clem. the queens are not going to match it very easily. But the reinforcements, much more vulnerable. Clem gonna try to pick as many up as possible. There is a siege tank, gets rid of the 4th command center. Another tank shot, eats some of the banelings. Queen's holding the line, transfusing as best they can, going for the medevacs, gets one, gonna cost him a couple. Lings and Banes completed, or Baneling speed completed, more accurately. The siege tanks jammed into the corners here, but Reynor has expanded away from that side of the map, so Clem successfully claimed it. Now he has to get a 4th base for himself. Wow, Clem actually extending quite far onto the creep. Reynor looking to outflank these siege tanks, and if they're exposed, and then the Zergling should be enough to do so. We got drilling claws on the way for the mines. All right. Oh, huge surround. Gonna force most of the Marines into the medevacs. Some of them will not survive. And another siege tank taken out. Getting a lot of damage onto the banelings before the siege tank is able to be taken out. Drilling claw's not quite done yet. Medevac drop gun down. The queens take it out. Revenge for Brenda. 2-2 on the way both sides. Reynor actually has quite an advantage on +2 carapace, but otherwise the upgrade's about a minute out. Continuing exchanges. Supplies dead even. 175. 3 Vipers on the way as Reynor has sprinted towards Hive. He's got 82 drones. Up against 72 SCVs. 4th base being taken for Clem. The Bone Trench. The rocks are dropped, cutting off the potential flank, making it a little easier to stage an attack. And the creep spread is almost non-existent here. Off of the creep, it's going to be very difficult for the Ling Bane to engage. And Clem may have found a decisive position. Reynor has to make a decision now or never. The hatchery almost down. Blinding Cloud onto the tanks. There's still a few Widowmines behind, but Parasitic Bomb. Viper's out so early here. Widowmine takes out a big chunk of the army. Still looking for more, trying to chase, trying to drag the mines in, but it's not going to be enough. Clem consolidates his forces. Another Widowmine. Refired. And now Clem staging another attack. More hits. The Zerglings and Banelings evaporate as the Sentinel missiles connect. And now Clem, well, the Queens are actually getting a lot of the medevacs, which are softened up by the parasitic bombs. Reynor desperate on supply here. More parasitic bombs. More Widow Mines. Those could backfire. Hit a lot of the Marines as well. But Clem's momentum will not be denied. Ultralisk Cavern on the way. Bit of a desperation move, but can work in this scenario. Widowmine's such a great unit when you've got the momentum. Can definitely be turned against you on the other side of things, though. In this case, Reynor unable. In fact, wait, can you actually get Marines jammed into the center between those rocks? That's something. Reynor in trouble here. Clem actually delayed his 3-3 upgrades in order to be able to maintain this momentum. Now, well, he doesn't have ghosts. He doesn't really have... He's just now adding marauders in. So without that more complex unit composition, Baneling Mines slow down some of the Marines. That's something. Reynor able to rebuild pretty dramatically, but the Terran army is cleaving through yet again. Another volley of mines hit both sides, doing terrible, terrible damage. Vipers on their own here, consuming the hatchery. Already so close to death. Can kill a lot of the drones. Reynor trying to keep it together, able to clean up some of these units. The medevac's actually driven back. Reynor done a incredible job of just keeping it together here. And the Widow Mines dealt with. More mines on the back line. Take out some of the Zerglings. Not too much behind this for Clem. The drones with the army for Reynor. Ultralisk in production. The last desperation play here. As Clem has not been he has not lost an SCV this game. Reynor's only lost 10 drones. But he's lost only 2 hatcheries. It just feels like his army just can never compete now that Clem has the momentum here. But the Ultras may be able to turn it around. There's not that many Marauders. Titan is plating on the way, +3. Drones killing Widow Mines. Blinding Cloud. Burrowed Banes. Everything. The kitchen sink. Ultralisk has joined the field. Another Parabomb. Quarantines it. The Zerglings are actually chasing here. Adrenal Glands is done, trying to drag the Widow Mines, not connecting. Chitin is plating in 2 seconds, 1 second. Ghosts are already on the way. 3-3 here for Clem. Manages to deal with one of the mines. Oh my god, consuming a hatchery that's already on the cusp of death. So dangerous, but either way, he needs the energy desperately on those Vipers. Parasitic Bomb on the medevacs. Clem not reacting, not reacting! Oh my god, he's losing all of his medevacs here. The Parasitic Bombs, the Blinding Cloud, and the Ultras are able to chew through. Trying to turn it around. Another medevac drop. The Ultras being chased down. The Smoltralisk is here. But Clem, still, his economy maintained. He's lost 33 mines, but 0 SCVs. Another Baneling mine. Unfortunately, not much range on that one. As Clem, unknowingly, slides slightly by it. The Banelings unburrow and attempt to get some damage. Trying to line up the snipes. Banelings doing a lot. The supply's getting closer to even than they have been in a while, but a volley of snipes knocks out the Ultralisk. The badly bruised hatchery will be taken down. And whatever progress that Reynor has made towards evening things up, looks like Clem has pushed him back over the edge. Clem may have lost some of these skirmishes, been pushed back on the field, but on the home front, he has maintained this incessant level of production, this inexorable level of aggression, this inevitable level of micro. And the Terran army continues pushing through. Another hatchery, another volley of mines, saves the day with the medevacs. And the Ultralisks are scampering and scrambling across the field. But Reynor just can't seem to cross the halfway mark. Clem is locking down the map. The mines will recharge. Mines rebuilding, recharging, much in the same way that Banelings don't. We do have some more at home, a desperation counterattack, but a planetary reinforcements, Widow Mines. There's no detection there, there are no Banelings. It will be driven away. Clem is maxed out. Reynor far from it. Snipes, catch some of the Vipers. Widow Mines, incidental fire. Another epic exchange, but I think Clem has all but wrapped this up here. More shots, more damage, but almost all on the side of Reynor. Reynor's lost 10,000 more minerals, though slightly less gas. Widow Mines again. Great fungal! Another one chained in, turning the Widow Mines against the Ghosts. And Reynor drives him back yet again. He's got Zerglings into the natural. The first SCV kills of the game. Able to cancel some of this. The Ultra's getting on top of the planetary. He doesn't actually have the building armor upgrades. Gotta deal with some of the SCVs repairing here. Moves them in, chewing through the SCVs. Reynor doing what he can. The Vipers, parasitic bomb, takes out a couple more medevacs. Reynor not willing to give it up yet. Chews through a planetary, but the Marauders chasing down the Ultras. They might have full upgrades, but the Marauder damage is just too much. One Ultra survived, but the Widowbot! It's just too much. Reynor ground down. Just a testament to his skill that he was able to keep it going for this long. But not any further. The Marauders, the Widowmons, the Liberators, there just isn't the army here for Reynor. He's almost killed his own hatchery in his last gasp of defense. A fungal comes through, yanks in a Liberator out of siege, but there's just no more Zerg. The hatchery goes down, and Clem will take the series. He'll take it. 2-1. An epic final game, but Clem showing why he's the best Terran, pretty much outside of Malru. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I made your day a little bit better. Thank you to World Team League and Masters Coliseum for putting these great players together. If you guys got the means and motivation, it'd be awesome if you check out Patreon, YouTube membership. Otherwise, like, subscribe. 1,121. Don't let autoplay go to the wrong video. There's still plenty of good games for the fans. I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Stay chill.